What's going on, Aurora Alliance, and welcome back to a brand new EA Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign speculative video. Now, I've been thinking a lot recently about the EA Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign and what I would like it to be like. I've played the Battlefield 1 campaign and I found that really entertaining, and it didn't really get boring at all. I did like how there was different perspectives and different types of gameplay within that campaign, so that led me to think that Star Wars Battlefront 2 should have a campaign where we get to experience the whole campaign or that era from different perspectives. So, in a way, I would kind of like to see two separate campaigns, one for the Rebels and the Resistance, and one for the Empire and the First Order. Now, these campaigns could be shorter, considering there would be sort of two versions of them, but that would suit me fine. I'd rather have two short, brilliant campaigns than one long, really boring one. Like I said before, I would like to see a campaign kind of similar to what Battlefield 1 had, where we have different types of gameplay in different perspectives. So in Star Wars Battlefront, I'd like to see space battle missions, ground battle missions, and ground-based vehicle combat missions, things like that. I think both campaigns would be great if they followed multiple stormtroopers for the Empire and First Order side, and multiple Rebel troopers for the Rebel side and the Resistance side, through the time frame of Return of the Jedi to kind of link the two games together, the Rise of the First Order so we get to see how that actually happened, and The Force Awakens because I think a lot of people would like to play a campaign that relates to a movie in some way. So I'm going to give you a bit of an example of what I kind of mean. So say we get on EA Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the first mission we have is based in the Return of the Jedi sort of time period. We'd start with the Empire, where we would have a mission on Endor, where we have to defend the shield generator from Rebel attack. We'd get to use ATSTs, speeder bikes, etc., throughout the different stages of the mission, right up to the point where it seems like the Empire has actually captured Han Solo and his strike team, and that's where the perspective would switch to the Rebel Alliance. We'd jump over to a different part of the mission, or even a different mission, where we would get to control a Rebel trooper for the Rebel Alliance, and again it would start on Endor, where we'd get to attack the shield generator with Han Solo and Princess Leia as part of that strike team. And this would happen right up to the point where Han's strike team is actually captured, and then we could go to a point where we control the Ewoks on the counterattack to free Han and his squad so they can go ahead and disable the shield generator. And then again it would flip, so we'd go back to the Empire side where we'd have the second part of the Empire mission, and we'd be controlling an Imperial TIE fighter pilot who has to defend the Death Star from attack by the Rebels right up until the point where the Death Star's shield is destroyed and that goes down. Once that happens, we'd switch again to the Rebel Alliance, where we'd get to take control of a Rebel pilot in an X-Wing and aid Lando Calrissian in his mission to destroy the Death Star. And obviously this has happened when the shield has gone down, so we would help Lando get inside of the Death Star, launch his assault and destroy the Death Star once and for all. Maybe we could even control Luke Skywalker in his fight with Darth Vader, but I personally would prefer the campaign to focus on the troopers rather than the heroes. I think if we're going to control heroes, that should be in a separate game, not within Star Wars Battlefront, especially not in a campaign, because Battlefront has always kind of been about the actual troopers on the ground rather than the big heroes. I also think doing it this way would be a great way to link the original trilogy to the sequel trilogy, as well as linking the first EA Battlefront to the second EA Battlefront. Once these missions are over, we would then switch over to the First Order side and the Resistance side. Now, I'm not sure how these missions would go down. Maybe for the First Order, the campaign could follow multiple Stormtroopers again, or even one Stormtrooper, through the rise of the First Order, and it would teach fans how the First Order came to power. The missions could also include parts from The Force Awakens, where the First Order attacks Jakku and Poe Dameron is captured. We could also take control of the First Order as they attack Maz Kanata's castle on Takodana, and possibly even defend Starkiller Base. I don't think that would work best for the First Order though. I don't think we should defend Starkiller Base because it seems like more of a Resistance mission. We would take control of the Resistance and actually attack Starkiller Base rather than defend it. For the Resistance side of the campaign, I'd like to see something where we have missions set before The Force Awakens, so just after Return of the Jedi when Luke Skywalker goes missing, we could take control of the Resistance around that time. This would lead us into missions where we have to try and find the map for Luke Skywalker, and that would link in well with the Force Awakens movie and the Force Awakens sort of time period missions. Or we could even have missions where we have to go on the offensive to defeat the First Order, or defend particular planets and settlements and bases from the First Order. I think it would be cool. I haven't really thought it exactly through. I don't know how they're going to go with it. This is just speculation and my ideas. We could also see missions where we take control of certain Star Wars vehicles. For example, when the Resistance has to come and defend Takodana from the First Order, we could take control of X-Wings and take down the First Order and blast on the ground and things like that. And like I said before, we could have missions where we have to attack Starkiller Base as the Resistance. But this is the big point. I wouldn't like the missions to get too repetitive, so if we had a mission for the First Order where we attack a planet on the ground, I wouldn't really like to defend the same planet in a mission for the Resistance on the ground. It would be too boring and sort of familiar. So if that was going to happen, I'd rather defend the planet in the Resistance X-Wings and things like that. So you get a bit of a variation, but it's still sort of linking in with the same mission. Let me know down in the comment section below what you would like to see from EA Star Wars Battlefront 2's campaign. And let me know what you think of my ideas. Do you think they're good? Do you think they're absolutely awful? Just let me know what you really think about the campaign that should be in EA Star Wars Battlefront 2. Or we might not even get a campaign, so let me know if you think we won't get one. Smash a like on the video if you have enjoyed it, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Aurora Alliance and be kept up to date with all things Star Wars, especially Star Wars gaming. Other than that, may the Force be with you.